Hello and welcome. Alicia Yusuf here, and I'm back from my Venus retrograde hiatus with your fortnightly update for the 29th of December. What month are we in? Are we in Mercury retrograde? Yes, we are, from the 29th of January through until the 11th of February. So before we dive into the astro of the week, I'd really love to hear how Jupiter in Pisces is going for you all. So many of my clients are talking about fantastic dreams that they're having, visions, imagination, creativity, but not much motivation. That urge to get up off the couch is just not strong enough. I think alongside Venus retrograde and now with Mercury retrograde as well, it's kind of been like the start of the year has been a non-start and we're still in hibernation mode. So if this is you, don't fear, you're not alone. There are many others there with you, including me. So please drop a line below and let me know how it's going for you. And of course, like this video and feel free to subscribe as well if you're just coming across my channel. So here we are, setting the stage. We're in the middle of, well, start of Aquarius season. The sun moved in last week and we're in that space now where the fixed signs are starting to be highlighted again. As we know from last year, the fixed signs have that squash and squeeze quality right now, as Saturn in Aquarius is still feeling the push from the winds of change of Uranus in Taurus. So as the sun and other planets continue to move through Aquarius, and these two giants of the sky haven't moved far enough away from each other, it may highlight some of that itchy, scratchy feeling of last year, where on the one hand, there was the freedom and the impulse for authenticity. And on the other hand, there was a feeling of, I can't change, or I have to be responsible, or I have duties to serve. So do expect that to be highlighted, and I'll be going through more of that in this video as well. But really where we start the week is Saturday, 2:16 p.m. here in Brisbane, is Mercury conjunct Pluto. And interestingly, this is happening against the backdrop all day of Venus stationing to go direct. So yes, Venus has reached morning star status in that very independent, outward going, forward thrusting energy, as much as Venus can do those things anyway. And as this morning star is ready to really pick up the action, we've been reviewing, reassessing, realigning, and revaluing so many things when it comes to how we connect with others, how we relate to others, and how we value ourselves. And so now it's time to put the pedal to the metal, or let the rubber hit the road as we start to implement the changes that we've seen. So for those who caught my Instagram story the other day, where I went on a bit of a tear talking about all of this, I think the main thing of this is we're going to have to start to address the elephant in the room that we may have only just discovered or highlighted or really realized was causing a blockage or a problem over the last 40 days. So I think with this Mercury conjunct Pluto, you know, the messages are flying through thick and fast of what's not working, where the power imbalance is, and how we get to use the Capricorn energy of where all of this is going on to say no, or to say no longer, or to say it's time to have new structures. It's time to put better foundations into our relationship. And it's time to get more realistic around what our connection truly is and whether or not we even want it to change or be something else. So do get ready for this energy. This is going to unfold the whole month through February and into early March, as then finally Venus comes back to that place where its retrograde started. And there'll be an interesting conjunction with Mars and Pluto on that same day. It's the same day as the new moon in Pisces on the 2nd of March. But before then, it is that sense of, okay, you get to test out, you get to try, you get to take this new level of maturity that we've all experienced by going inwards and put it out there. And remember, this is what I like around the fact that Mars is now in Capricorn. And with Venus going so slow, Mars is quickly catching up to Venus, and these two will travel through the sky. And it's almost like Venus is like, these are the boundaries that I want. And Mars is like, how can I help you protect them? Or how can I help you keep those boundaries in place? So I do like the energy of these two traveling through Capricorn in the month ahead. So speak out loud and proud, but definitely on Saturday, listen out for those deep plutonic messages that will help you identify where things have been hidden, but really need to come to the surface. So you get an opportunity to actually deal with them. Then Sunday's a fairly quiet day, no major aspects in the sky, but Monday. So we have the Sun square Uranus. And this is at 5:31 a.m. here in Brisbane. So this will be Sunday for much of the world. And this brings messages forward for this new moon. New moon's happening on the next day, on Tuesday the 1st. And both the Sun and the moon will be in this tense square to Uranus. And I think this links a lot to what I was already saying, and the breakthroughs that we have been trying to achieve, or the freedom we've been seeking to enact. This new moon may be where we can really encapsulate that energy and push it forwards. But the new moon doesn't just happen square Uranus, it also happens in a conjunction to Saturn. So it's right there, 12 degrees. We've got Uranus at 10 degrees and Saturn at 15. So this new moon is smack bang in the middle of this territory. And so much has happened since that Aquarius new moon last year, which was later in February last year. And this area of our life saw a lot of prodding, a lot of poking, and what is generally a neutral energy with Aquarius. I always think about it as the Swiss Alps, that place that we can withdraw to for impartiality. It hasn't felt so impartial for the last few years. So this new moon kind of offers us that ability to step back and to withdraw into the mountains and see, okay, where do I find the balance between freedom and responsibility? And from this higher point of view, can I actually see that it's all on the same spectrum? It's just how far along it I want to be. I talk about this all the time, but freedom without responsibility is anarchy. And responsibility without freedom is totalitarianism. But both are along that same line. So it's up to you about how far along that you get to go. And this, of course, is where we can use the innovative nature of this new moon in Aquarius to problem solve and to find ways to honor both. I even wonder with Saturn in Aquarius if this is a commitment to a new future that we're trying to build, where we have to break things apart, the old ways, the old systems, and our reliance on those resources to be able to reach where we want to go. I do think it's a lot about feeling comfortable in the unknown, really anchoring ourselves in that place. I feel like in so many ways in this current day and age, we are tricked into thinking that we know so much. Knowledge is at our fingertips. You just have to ask Google, and we've got access to this huge wealth and breadth of human knowledge. However, it's not the future. This is fixed in the past. This is old knowledge, most of it. So this is an opportunity to go, there's information and then there's knowledge. And really, where do I stand in that equation? And am I too fixed in my fear that I'm staying stuck in the past? Or am I willing to anchor myself in the unknown so that I can feel what's coming through from the future, so I can be with the new? This is so much about what Aquarius is about. The visionary, the trendsetter, the cool hunter, the genius, the mad scientist. We all have a little bit of this in our chart somewhere, and this new moon highlights that for us. So be ready to make mistakes and to blaze trails. Be the boundary rider as you try new, different, unusual things, and you commit to doing that. If you are in Aries rising in particular, this new moon is your granddaddy power period, as it's called, because it's in your 11th house of hopes, dreams, and future wishes. So make the most of this if you do intention setting under the new moon. Now, where do we go from here? In Wednesday, we have, so after this new moon, Wednesday night here in Australia. So it is Wednesday in much of the world. It's at 8:59 p.m. The moon moves into Pisces. And Pisces is very fertile in territory right now, with Jupiter in there at the moment. And definitely expect over the days ahead to have increased dreams and to be more in that floppy, phlegmatic, very watery energy. Thursday morning, 9:57 a.m. here in Australia, the moon will conjoin Jupiter. This is the perfect morning for Jupiter rituals. If you do any, get on it. It's a great morning for that. If you need rituals, I always highlight the amazing Caitlin Kopic at Spear and Sundry as the place to go. I have my little ritual set up over there. But yeah, even just simply wearing Jupiter colours on Jupiter's day, which is that royal blue and yellow, is a great way to honour Jupiter as well. So it's definitely a day for feeling confident, feeling hopeful, feeling optimistic, and leaning into faith. I think it's a great day to be leaning into spiritual pursuits as well and what's possible. Now, next from here, there's not that much happening this week, and I think it will feel very quiet, especially as Mercury is slowing right down to station direct on Friday. So the exact station point is at 2:12 p.m. on Friday here in Australia on the 4th, but we'll feel this all day. So do remember the station days are often the trickiest of the Mercury retrograde period. So these are the days where the hijinks, the issues, the delays, the impatience comes at a high. So do be prepared for this. But generally, it's stationing to move direct. So get excited for things that have been on pause or on hold to start moving forwards. And if you have some projects you're pulling off the back burner and trying to get done right now, try to get them done before that 4th of February. I've gotten so much done this Mercury retrograde. It's been amazing. Now, that same day, actually that night, is that kick in the pants as Mars in Capricorn sextiles Jupiter in Pisces. And this is an opportunity to get more active and to really use the strategic focus of Mars in Capricorn to grab some of those Jupiter and Pisces dreams and run with them. So what have you been wallowing in the wash of? What visions have you had? What castles in the air have you been building? This is an opportunity to take some first steps on those and not waste the opportunity that Jupiter and Pisces is offering us all. But of course, in true Jupiter and Pisces style, this comes with gentleness, this comes with sensitivity, and this comes with compassion. So don't think you're going to go all out, full thrust on this day, but it's definitely a day where boldness will creep in, encouragement will be felt, and just, I think, you take one step forward, something else will take 5 steps to meet you. So enjoy it and make the most. Then Saturday, the 5th of February, this is when the moon moves into Aries. So it's very early in the morning here in Australia. So I think it will be Friday. It will be Friday for most of the world. And this will give us that kind of drying out extra energy as well. So get ready. I think there'll be a definite uptick of energy that weekend. The Sun does conjunct Saturn on Saturday, so very interesting energy for a Saturn day. And it's exact at 5:04 a.m. here in Australia, or here in Brisbane. So this, of course, is following off the back of that new moon, and it is where we get to be realistic about this particular area of our lives, and where we've been feeling that squash and that squeeze. It's now like, okay, I get to face the fears that have been potentially holding me back and read, are they really my fears? Is it just the monkey mind informing me? Or am I being realistically cautious right now? One of the ways, of course, the counselor in me is breathe. Come into your body. It knows, it holds the truth, because our body exists in the present moment. Our fears, our monkey minds are often informed by the past or the future. So when you come into your body and you face this and have this spotlight given to Saturn on this day, it happens once a year, this connection, then we get to really understand the truth of what is holding us back, whether it's a guardrail that's trying to keep us safe, or whether it's a prison wall that is locking us in. And often those prison walls have been accepted or built even by ourselves to stop us from what, as children or as previous versions of ourselves, we thought was really keeping us safe, but wasn't. So check that, test in with that as well. I think it'll also bring to you a spotlight to where dedication, where discipline, and where commitment can actually get you far in 2022. Yes, Saturn brings challenges and it brings tests, but Saturn rules our skeleton as well. It's what keeps us standing upright. And so there is this opportunity with Saturn to think, in 2022, this is actually the energy that can help me go forward long term, and to be very focused and driven on where I want to go, and to repetitively show up is what's going to help me achieve what I need to achieve in this particular area. So just kind of keep an eye out for this on this day. And yes, the Sun and Saturn aren't great energy together. They're literally two opposite ends of the solar system. But the Sun is like that bright spotlight that can show us, okay, are these really fears, or are they just those beasties under my childhood bed stopping me here? And does a little bit of persistence and commitment help me push past those beasties? Now, I love Monday the 7th. We're starting Moon Day at 8:52 a.m. with the moon moving into Taurus. Now, the moon in Taurus is exalted, it is uplifted, and it's in its happy space. And especially the early parts and the later parts of Taurus are nice for the moon. Those first 10 degrees at the moment are fairly free. So I think you could definitely enjoy Monday day, at least here in Australia anyway, for nature walks, for getting grounded, for seeking the serenity and the calmness that the moon in Taurus can bring. So you may even find it in some little luxuries or some physical earthly pleasures. This is Venus's earth sign, Venus's night sign. So make the most of that energy as well. Then we move into Wednesday, though the build up for this will be on Tuesday, at least here in Australia, and it will be Tuesday for much of the world. We do have Mars in Capricorn forming a trine to Uranus in Taurus. So 12:57 a.m. here in Brisbane. So this will be 1:57 a.m. for the rest of the east coast of Australia. And this is a really helpful activation for those Uranian breakthroughs, exciting new insights, and grabbing hold of breaking free of what's been holding you back or tying you down. So it's interesting how after that Sun-Saturn conjunction on the weekend, this is where we can go, right, let's push past them, let's break that apart, let's shatter that. It may also, however, light a fire to chaos too. I do think that if you're going through Uranus transits right now, trines are, yes, they're helpful and they bring ease, but it does mean something flows really easily as well. So it feels like Mars is lighting a wick that is very dry and will run quickly to that Uranian bomb. So I would say put that bomb somewhere helpful. And if that is outside and far away, then that's where you need it. But if you need something to change, if you need something to shatter, if you need something to separate, this is great energy to be using to do exactly that. It is in an earth sign. The melancholy of the earth signs can be quite nervy under this kind of energy. We've got both these planets in earth signs. So it may be a bit nerve producing, and those wheels really turning and grinding away. So being in the middle of the night here in Australia, it could be a sense of being suddenly woken up and your mind full of exciting ideas and new innovations you want to try, but you can't do anything about it at 1 o'clock in the morning. So my suggestion always when you wake in the middle of the night is not to turn a light on and not to turn a screen on. Bring out a candle if you must be up and about, and try to do night-based things. So quiet writing, yoga nidra, or just quiet yoga will be really helpful for you for this. if you can't, you know, if staying in bed is causing you to feel anxious, then don't force yourself to stay in bed. You know, do get up, but really gentle, quiet activities when you do. And meditation is excellent as well. Then later that day, so this is 8:26 p.m. on the Wednesday, the moon moves into buzzy, excitable Gemini from Taurus as well. So there's a lot of zing, a lot of flavor to this. And this takes us through all the way until Saturday. There's nothing else really going on for the rest of this week. We do have very early on that 12th, on that Saturday morning, the last of these Mercury conjunct to Pluto. So that energy really does bookend this fortnight for us all. So I think there'll be a lot of messages coming through that are bringing truth to the surface. And it's an opportunity to have those kind of cathartic conversations with others and to really seek out the change that we need, but in a deep, metamorphic, transformational way. It could also mean that we get to speak truth to bullshit too, excuse my language, but there is that sense of this is where we get to cut through the crap and really get to the core of the issue. And there is a lot of that going on out in the world. But I would say in Capricorn, this is really looking at, you know, the truth of your structures, the truth of your foundations, and the truth of your ambitions, and seeing whether or not it's ego informed or a need-based ambitions that you have. So wishing you a wonderful week ahead. You know, please, if you've enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, share with your friends. And I look forward to seeing you for that Leo full moon that'll be happening in a couple of weeks' time.